The Altcoin Crypto Apocalypse is officially upon us. Latest victims are Veritasium and XRP. Who's next? What's next? Well, if you want to know, please just stay tuned to find out more. Hey, what's up, Lambo? What are you doing, brother? The computer's off, and there's no internet. Literally, the power just went out a few minutes ago. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Oh, okay, I see. You're trying to sell your XRP and your Veritasium and some Tron that he just got. Bro, you're supposed to be a Tron developer. What the hell happened, man? This fucking guy. Anyways, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Halsey and Lambo show? I don't know, whatever the hell this is. But, well, today we're going to be talking about the altcoin apocalypse that's upon us right now. Right before I started filming the episode, the power went out. Because it's that fucking hot out here that the grid got, a little bit overwhelmed. And yeah, it's been without power for a little while now. And it's hot and it sucks. And I got to keep the doors closed because now since the power is off, I can literally hear my front door neighbors blasting their music as they're fixing up the house. So, yeah, it's just one of those days. But it's all good, though. We're here, we're still trekking, and we're going to film an episode while I wait for the power to come on. And hopefully it comes on while I'm filming so I can edit this thing as soon as I'm done. But regardless, enough about me and enough about my power struggles. But to me it was hilarious, just how simultaneously, right before I started filming this episode about, this insanity that's right upon us right now, the power goes out. I mean, because what a perfect metaphor to, perfectly describe exactly what's gonna happen or could happen or right around the corner, within the crypto space and beyond. Because, it was funny because I just finished a live stream that, by the way, in case you guys aren't aware, every single Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I do a live stream on YouTube talking about crypto every single week. And, today was no different. I had my live stream and, sure, we already know that Veritasium news broke a couple days ago on Tuesday, and then the whole XRP thing broke today. And again, as I was doing my live stream talking about these things, I realized that about a year ago, in fact January 12th of 2018, so a year and a half ago or whatever, I made a video which, by the way, super cringe worthy. I will put a link at the bottom. It was one of my first videos. Maybe I was less than a month or about a month doing crypto videos. So I was watching it again and it was very cringe-worthy because it was just, seeing me, and it's funny to see how much I progressed in all this time. And again, if you guys want to check it out, but it's really horrible. But regardless, I made some good points in that episode. Even though I was really early calling what could happen, what eventually is happening right now. And what the hell was I talking about? Well, in that episode, I basically was just saying the fact that I think Coinbase was going to be the next Mt. Gox. Now, fast forward a year and a half later, Coinbase, could, disappear tomorrow, and it would be like the next Mt. Gox. And as things have been developing the last several weeks and days, that's not out of the realm of possibility anymore. And it's just really interesting, seeing all of these things happen and all of these things, come to fruition. And again, even though I was really early on calling a lot of these things like I usually am, eventually it's happening, you know what I mean? We're here. And so what am I talking about? Well, the simple fact that, what I was saying back then, which is, kind of like what's happening right now and what I'm saying now, is the fact that a lot of these coins, you know what I mean? Like 95% or more, 95 to 98% of all of these, crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, crypto coins, crypto projects, crypto tokens, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're all literally just blowing smoke up your ass to get your money, and that's it. Leave Dodge.
Mailed in my company a postcard a few weeks back requesting information on penny stocks that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell? Okay, great. Well, reason for the call today, John, is something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you. You got a minute? Name of the company, Altcoin International. It is a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest awaiting imminent patent approval on a next generation of radar detectors that have both huge military and civilian applications. Now, right now, John, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. And by the way, John, our analysts indicate it could go a heck of a lot higher than that. Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment would be upwards of $60,000.
Jesus, that's my mortgage, man.
Exactly, you could pay off your mortgage.
This stock will pay off my house.
John, one thing I can promise you, even in this market, is that I never ask my clients to judge me on my winners. I ask them to judge me on my losers because I have so few. And in the case of Airtime, based on every technical factor out there, John, we are looking at a grand slam home run.
Okay, let's do it. I'll do $4,000.
4,000, that'd be 40,000 shares, John. Let me lock in that trade right now and get back to you with my secretary with an exact confirmation. Sound good, John?
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. Hey, John, thank you for your vote of confidence, and welcome to the Investors Center.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And, you know, again, in the last like 6 months, we've seen an increase in these things, you know, meaning that, you know, whether it's Quadriga CX or whether it's, I don't know, name your exchange, you know, plenty of exchanges have become kaput, have disappeared. You know, other exchanges, you know, they've, you know, gone through their hacking, through their problems, through their whatever. And again, we've discussed many, many times before as to, you know, that's all part of the manipulation. A lot of these, you know, exchanges out there, for the most part, you know, they're doing fractional reserve lending, fractional reserve trading. Therefore, you know, like, if a lot of people go into the exchange to try and get their money out at the same time, they can't. As a matter of fact, you know, my friend, which is starting to get into the crypto space, you know, he opened up a Coinbase account and they don't even let him do anything for like at least 10 days. And I thought that was pretty ridiculous. In fact, he thought it was pretty ridiculous. And it's funny, you know, it's funny how things happen because, you know, I got to call him after this because now that we have the dip, I'm like, buy now. Good thing he did not buy a couple days ago, right? But that's besides the point. You know, what I was saying in today's live stream was pretty much what I'm gonna say in a more condensed version here. But just the fact that now, as we're seeing, you know, Veritasium, you know, get exposed for the scam that it is, you know, right next to it, you know, right after that, we're seeing XRP Ripple also starting to get exposed for the scam that it is. We talked about Trayvon James and the whole BitConnect thing. Now they're, you know, going after him very hard, you know, and they're going after many, many projects. And in some cases, you know, like in the case of like, let's say Shapeshift, you know, the Exodus wallet, you know, they've already been saying for a while that they're eventually going to start implementing KYC. The whole KYC thing is becoming a more of a thing nowadays. And again, you know, it's funny because even my friend that has no idea what the KYC thing, has no idea about, you know, a lot of the conspiracy shit that we talk about, a lot of the, you know, the banking cartel shit that we're always talking about. He has no idea about any of that. But you know, as soon as Coinbase was asking him for information, and then the fact after they got all that info, you know, it still, you know, was going to delay like 10 days before he can even really, you know, make, you know, he can make purchases, but he couldn't, you know, take the money out of the exchange and all that stuff. All these things were red flags, and that's why he, you know, called me up, you know, and we were talking, and we had a conversation about some of these things. And even though a lot of this stuff was still new to him, you know, he was kind of getting it already. So, you know, back to where, you know, back to like the beginning, you know, back to like what I was just saying at the beginning of today's episode is the fact that, you know, for over a year now, again, you can go back to my old video library because, again, I've been doing this, you know, crypto video stuff for a while now, since late 2017. But, you know, back in, again, late 2017, early 2018, I was already, you know, calling the fact that, at some point, most of these shit coins are going to just disappear off the face of the earth because they have absolutely nothing to offer, no value, no nothing. You know, whether it was, Dentacoin, whether it's XRP, you know, whether it doesn't matter. Pick your shit coin, okay? There's plenty of them out there to pick. And, most of these, most of these projects have failed to deliver, if they've even done anything at all. So what's happening now is that the SEC and the U.S. government entities are coming after a lot of these projects that have, again, the SEC and all these government officials are now coming out after a lot of these projects that have, in a sense, literally robbed their investors blind. Now, some of these, securities or some of these ICOs, they actually, they just failed because they failed. Remember, we talked about this many times as Business 101, and a lot of these, startups, they have no idea how to do business. Period. That's why they failed. But a lot of projects out there, they actually do know, how to do business. And a lot of projects, they don't even care about that whole business aspect. They just, all they wanted to do was create an ICO, collect the money, and get the fuck out of Dodge. And we've been talking about this for the longest time, and the people that are OGs in this space know what's up. And so now that we've seen the developments, that have been happening ever since, Facebook, got grilled because of the Libra coin. Ever since that day, it seems like the government is really coming hard after the crypto space. And if you guys thought that there was a shakeout before, get ready, because there's even going to be an even more bigger shakeout now. And anyone holding any one of these bags, I truly feel sorry for you guys out there, because if you haven't sold already, man, it's already past the point of no return type of shit. You can still sell, but, you're at a major loss at this point. And even though some of you guys are, holding on to some of these bags of coins, tokens, thinking that it's going to eventually come back full circle and, you'll make your money back or at least break even, the reality is, and for the most part, that's it. You know what I mean? It's over. You know what I mean? And that kind of sucks. And I think a lot of you guys out there have already made that move, so just straight Bitcoin, meaning sold all of your, crypto investments, all your shit coins, and traded it in for Bitcoin. I remember just a few months ago, I had Litecoin and I traded it in at 120. Thinking to myself, man, am I making the right move? Man, we're still not at that Litecoin happening, blah, 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 blah. And anyways, I sold it, and ever since that day, it's been tanking, and where we are now. I mean, I don't know where it's at now, but I think it's like at 80, and might be even lower by the time you guys watch this. And again, there's nothing wrong with Litecoin, but right now, again, as the world economy is literally tanking, as the world is in turmoil, whether we're talking about Hong Kong or Paris or Argentina or Venezuela or the US or Turkey or China, or it doesn't matter. The world is literally in turmoil at the moment, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be ending anytime soon. It hasn't even started yet. It's barely started, and this is something that once it really gets going, it's going to be around this turmoil for many, many, many years to come. So with that being said, if most people don't even have the investment funds, the financials to invest in, Facebook or Amazon or Apple or any actual real tangible investments, what makes you think that there's going to be people out there that are going to have any more free money to invest in Dentacoin or XRP or anything like that? And again, I know people can still, sell their house to buy, some of these shit coins and so on and so forth. But, at this point, the whole thing is pretty much kaput for the most part. Unless, you're a project like EOS, a project like maybe Ethereum, I'm not a fan, or something just straight up like Bitcoin. You're going to be around for a very long time. Again, in the case of like EOS and other projects of that ilk, you guys out there, even no matter what kind of hit you take, your EOS token coin, could hit 25 cents, but it doesn't really matter. You guys are building stuff for the future, actual tangible assets, tangible projects. So eventually, once everything recovers, you'll be fine. Everyone else, unless you're actually producing, creating, making something, your project is actually, worth something, then guess what, guys? It's over.
And I think young kids are getting tricked right now and think just because it's a technology boom and just because they understand it, that they have this great advantage over 45-year-old executors. It's audacity, which I love. Channeled properly, it gives them the lack of fear to do things. So I really don't talk a lot about it because I don't want to stop it, because I think it's their greatest gift as well. But I think it's patience, I think it's lack of experience, and the biggest one is lack of talent. Every young kid thinks they're entitled to be an entrepreneur now. It's the cool thing. Truth is, it's not gonna work out. Like, it just isn't. The math doesn't work out. Like, 98% of the people that are starting startups are gonna lose. And again, the reason I started with the economic growth of the globe is keeping a fake entrepreneur alive. Most of your friends that in their 20s that have businesses aren't actually making money if they're in tech. They've raised capital and they're losing money every month. That's ultimately something that doesn't work out.
And again, we've seen this many, many times in history, when it comes to the stock market. The last time that something like this happened was during the .com era, where we had many pets.com and we had many, many, many .coms that just disappeared overnight and took all the investors' money, whether, the project failed because of, just shitty business practices, meaning that they didn't know what the hell they were doing, or they failed because, it was like pets.com, like, give me a break. And so on and so forth, meaning a bad idea, but they were just trying to capitalize on the .com era, and so on and so forth. So we're seeing a lot of the same thing, and now we're seeing that crash. And it's only going to come in correlation with the actual crash, which again, as you guys know, as of yesterday, the yield curve fully inverted. The bond market is being, is a ticking time bomb. The whole fucking thing is about to blow the fuck up. Now, you've also know that, if you've heard me talking about this, that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while, but it's it. You know what I mean? We're in a very, steep downhill inclination, trajectory at the moment. And the only safe havens right now, and again, don't even believe me anymore. Just believe the charts, believe the numbers, believe what's out there. The truth, numbers don't lie. Gold, silver, and Bitcoin are going up. So even in a day like today where Bitcoin is going down alongside with a lot of other things, just because the Dow, the stock market is recovering, again, guys, just look at that as an opportunity to buy in some more, or perhaps even trade your shit coins, to get some Bitcoin at a lower price, and hopefully, see if you can somehow turn a profit, or, maybe make your money back. Praying for you guys out there. What is it? But anyways, guys, regardless, right now, all we're really seeing is the beginning of the end of a lot of this stuff. Right now we're seeing, Coinbase, whether it's, becoming very restrictive, even more restrictive, I apologize, even more restrictive, with their cash out policies, with their KYC and all this other stuff, at the, out of the other end, what they're also doing is they're delisting a lot of coins. Okay, and other exchanges are soon to follow, and eventually a lot of these exchanges are going to be so KYC heavy that they're either going to kick you out from the exchange, or you're not even going to be allowed to join these exchanges anymore, and so on and so forth. But again, guys, we've talked about this before. Even though the whole altcoin crypto market might die and disappear overnight, eventually, we already have DEXs. What is a DEX? It's a decentralized exchange, and a lot of these decentralized exchanges already exist. And as the need for them arises, meaning like right now, we need every single day that passes, we need more. There's more and more of a need to have these things. Then guess what? They're just going to keep getting better and better. And a lot of these DEXs don't really, function correctly because there's not that much liquidity. Because remember, it's a peer-to-peer thing, and there's not that many people using these things. So as these regular exchanges, start losing customers or start failing or disappearing, then people are just going to move on to these DEXs. And sure, it's a little slower, but I think it's going to be a humongous benefit. I know it's going to be a huge benefit to the crypto space, because it's going to start the beginning of the end of the manipulation coming from Wall Street and other entities out there, just because it's a DEX now. That's why you're seeing things like Backed or Ledger or the Ledger X people or whatever, making creating products in the stock exchange that will, allow you to, only get paid out and cash out in Bitcoin, which is something that's been unheard of. For the most part, it's just fiat cash money. But again, I digress. There's a lot of things going on. Look at Binance right now. Binance. I don't know which is bigger, Binance or Coinbase, but if they're coming out after XRP, Veritasium, and many more projects, that I don't even fucking know what they're doing right now. But, you know, again, you know, as they're coming out after all these, you know, what do you think? What makes you think that they're not going to be really coming hard after Binance? If you guys are following that, and again, the last several months, you know, Binance has been doing a lot of things to try to protect themselves from the oncoming onslaught from the US government. Now, whether or not it's going to work, we'll find out soon enough. I don't think it's going to work. But, you know, before you know it, one day you're going to wake up and Binance is going to, you know, shut its doors. You know, and what are you going to do if you have money in there? You know what you're going to do? You're going to go home and you're going to cry. Well, actually, you know what I mean. So, I mean, it's a multitude of things that are, you know, happening right now within the crypto space. And hopefully this doesn't deter, you know, too many people, you know, new investors, and I hope it doesn't shake out all you old investors out of the space. In fact, again, you know, this is a real huge opportunity to not just learn more about this stuff, but to really give validity to Bitcoin itself and what this stuff is all about. Because, you know, I really do think that this is a great opportunity, because I think as a lot of these shit coins and a lot of these things start disappearing and going away, I think it's going to actually bring, you know, the actual normal investor back in, and, you know, they're going to just look at Bitcoin like, you know, gold and silver. I mean, right now in Hong Kong and other parts of the world in which, you know, the shit is hitting the fan, what the fuck are they doing? They're buying Bitcoin left and right. You know, oh, power's on. Yes. Thank God, it's just so hot. Let me turn the, hold on. I don't want to get too much noise from the refrigerator. But, see, I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train of thought already, you know? I was so happy. Oh, God, some air, finally. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. As a lot of these exchanges and a lot of these things start to fail, and a lot of people out there that are just a casual investor all of a sudden get, they start feeling more confident to invest, because now all of a sudden, instead of there being thousands and thousands of shit coins for them to choose from, it's really just basically a few. And, you know, again, just because they're also watching from the sidelines, you know, they'll get to see, oh wow, okay, I guess this Bitcoin is really a thing, because look how it's survived, and look how it's surviving, and look how other entities out there are, again, you know, giving the green light that this thing is actually viable like gold and silver. Because again, guys, you know, just going back to like Venezuela, Hong Kong, and so many places around the world, if you go at, you know, and see the Bitcoin volume and the Bitcoin use and the Bitcoin price in a lot of these places, you know, that has a lot of turmoil, you know, they're, you know, again, even though they're selling and even though the price of Bitcoin in a lot of these areas are elevated, you know, due to the turmoil, you know, right now, you know, you're seeing, you know, records being broken in a lot of these, you know, places, again, like Hong Kong, Venezuela, Turkey, Iran, and so on and so forth, because it's the only safe haven that they can get their hands on, you know. Now, it's not everywhere where you can just get physical gold and silver, and even though that might be the first choice for a lot of people, a lot of, you know, a lot of other individuals out there that can't get their hands on that, they at least get their hands on Bitcoin. And the point is to get your hands on all three, but at the very least, get your hands on one of them, okay? If all you can afford is silver, get silver. If all you can get is gold, get gold. If all you can get is crypto and Bitcoin, get Bitcoin. If you can get all three, diversify a little bit and get all three. Okay? Because again, you saw how the power just came back on. Well, if the power goes out, you know, it's not going to be out forever. But, you know, you're not going to be really able to use Bitcoin, you know, because even if you can send Bitcoin without electricity, you still need a little tiny itty bit. Okay? And you just do, and whether it's to power your cell phone, whether it's to power, you know, again, you can already send Bitcoin through radio signals. So again, it's not necessarily like you need power, but you kind of do need a little bit, just so that the kind of like a little bit of the grid works so that it's functionable. But in the meantime, you know, even though you still could use that, you know, in the meantime, you know, something like silver, okay, it was something that you can use on a, you know, regular basis, maybe for the first couple weeks of the whole system coming down, that you can use to at the very least buy water, food, whatever, okay, and things like that, until people start getting the hang of Bitcoin and start accepting that and using that as a real viable, you know, alternative to the currency that we once had, the dollar. And again, you know, none of this stuff that I'm saying, you know, it's coming out of my ass. You know, again, the reason I keep bringing up Venezuela, Iran, Turkey, China, you fucking name it, is because we've already, you know, Greece and so on and so forth, and many, many, many more. The reason I keep bringing these up in correlation to what I was just saying is because, again, these are actual real world use cases and real world cases in which we've already seen these things happen. So again, it's just, those that do not study history are those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it. So, that's kind of like where we're standing now when it comes to all that, okay? So guys, I hope this video was informative. This video was just really to shed some little, a little more light into what's going on right now. No matter what the hell you see, out there, sometimes you just gotta, take a real good deep down look inside yourself, and sometimes you gotta take that L, guys. You know what I mean? And sometimes you take the W. Look, right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm on a W. I know a lot of motherfuckers out there are, taking that L, that loss. But for example, while a lot of you guys were taking W's, I was taking a big L. Okay, now things are kind of backwards. Why? Well, because maybe I was a little bit too ahead of my predictions, and it only served me well. So guys, it's all really up to you. You know that, whether you win or lose or fail, succeed, it has a lot to do with you. And then once you fail or succeed, it's also up to you what you do going forward. All right, guys. So even if right now you're taking a big L, it's only an L. It's only a loss if you didn't learn anything from it. If you learn something from it, you know what you can just tell yourself to make yourself feel better? Easy. I lost, okay, so you can just pretend this, oh my God, I lost so much money on Litecoin. Damn, I learned my lesson. Sure, it was an expensive lesson, but hey, it was a lesson in hard knocks, a lesson in life, okay? And all I did was pay tuition to life. And that's it, you know what I mean? And that's really how you should look at it, and that'll most likely, help you feel a lot better, because at the end of the day, if you don't learn anything from it, then that is when it's a loss. But if you at least learn something from it, sure, it was an expensive lesson, but it was a lesson, and you're probably not going to commit it again. And that's how, again, how these things pay off, even if you took a loss. All right? Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any comments, any questions, anything regarding what we just talked about, if I missed anything that you guys want me to, bring up some more, or so on and so forth, please, by all means, leave something in the comments, or you already know how to contact me. Just check out the description of today's video, where it's filled with, links to the Discord, to my actual, website, to Instagram, to a lot of avenues in which you can reach out to me. If you join the Discord, you can, join the community and, ask questions, start a conversation, and so on and so forth. And again, guys, this is only really beginning, even though a lot of fucking people, keep saying and thinking that we've, that the whole Bitcoin crypto thing is old and they missed the boat. No, guys, we're barely starting. We're barely getting started, okay? We're at the point now. You guys remember when Apple was starting and they were still like in the garage and barely just selling it to Radio Shack? That's kind of where we're at right now. Really, that's where we're at. We still have a long way to go. So if you think you missed the boat, you don't know anything about what the hell's going on. And I implore you to educate yourself a little more, so that way you can take the proper steps to get ahead, okay, and not fall behind. So guys, I want to give a shout out to all my patrons. I want to give a shout out to all my contributors. I want to shout out to everyone that sends all kinds of donations, whether it's Digibyte, Tron, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cash, don't matter, I use it all. It's all greatly appreciated. Even if it's just love, even if all you can afford is a thumbs up and a share, guys, you're doing more than half the people out there, and you're really helping me and Lambo out. And if you really want me to continue making a lot more of these crypto videos as opposed to other videos, you already know what I need. I need more views. I need more people to pay attention to this shit, so that way I can be more incentivized to make them. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep making them, a few a week until the crash actually gets here. And at that point, everyone's gonna want to know what the fuck is going on, and well, you're gonna get tired of hearing a lot of this shit. Well, not really. You already know what's up. But anyways, guys, I love you to death. Thank you so much for being here. As always, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon, and more importantly than anything else, don't forget to stay awesome. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys mañana. Peace.
And where's Amazon's headquarters? The public relations people told us to come to 1516 2nd Avenue between Pike and Pine in Seattle. But when we passed the pawn shop and the porno parlor, the wig store and the down-market teriyaki joint, we didn't see anything that looked vaguely cutting edge. No corporate drives or office towers. Just a heroin needle exchange and an old building called Columbia. But it had the number 1516, so we walked inside. And there it was, the logo known to every web shopper in the world. Upstairs, it doesn't look very high-tech either. More like a college dorm than a corporate headquarters. And then there's the boss. You generally hear him before you see him. It's the ear-piercing laugh of billionaire Jeff Bezos. Now, I've heard a lot about your desk.
It's a door with 4x4s.
Come on.
What?
I mean, you can afford a better desk than that.
It's a symbol of spending money on things that matter to customers and not spending money on things that don't.
And you don't need clean carpets. In July of 1995, from this modest ranch house outside Seattle, Bezos sold his first book. Today, he has 5 huge warehouses in the United States and Europe, packed not only with books, but with CDs and movies. Last year, Amazon sold more than $600 million worth of merchandise over the internet.
Hey, PK, Local Financial, I think that's you. C93's coming back.
And the stock? If you'd bought $1,000 worth of Amazon stock in 1997, it would be worth between $30,000 and $60,000 today. Bruce Smith is an analyst for Jefferies & Company in New York. Is this investing or is it gambling?
Right now, with the frenzy we've had, to me it feels much more like gambling.
Because it's crazy.
Well, I don't find it rational, to be honest with you.
It went up almost 1,000% last year. When have you seen anything comparable?
Nothing.
But there are huge risks.
The internet is real. Real money is being spent. It's not going to stop. But what you could have is a decline in these stocks of 50, 75%.
But investors keep flooding in. Why? Amazon snagged almost 2 million new customers at the end of last year. And like other internet companies, it's growing much faster than those old blue chips. Example, internet giant Yahoo is worth more on paper than the total value of Kmart, Hilton Hotels, and Delta Airlines combined. Call it the revenge of the nerds, the computer nerds.
Hey guys, guess what? Me and Lambo are still here. We haven't left yet. You know why we're here? Because I want to tell you all about this new store that I just opened up. Yeah, that's right. It's our new sponsor as well. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So, as you guys can see, this is the store. I just opened up the store, I don't know, about a week ago, and I'm gonna be selling all my merch and all of our stuff here, whether it's Lambo stickers, whether it's, you know, mugs, t-shirts, jackets, you name it. We got all kinds of stuff that you guys can buy and help support the show. Now you get to have your very own shirt or your very own Lambo sticker, and if you guys want any special requests on things for me to put in the store, then please, by all means, let me know, and we'll get our graphic artist, you know, on top of it. Yeah, that means you gotta work, Lambo. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys mañana.